Hello, everyone. We are going to be continuing the Phantom Tollbooth Act 2. So the review and anticipate. In Act 1, Milo is lifted from his boredom into a strange kingdom that is in conflict over the importance of letters and numbers. After traveling through Dictionopolis, he agrees to rescue Princesses Rhyme and Reason, who can settle the conflict. As Act 2 opens, Milo, Talk, and the Humbug arrive in the city of Digitopolis on their quest to rescue the princesses. All right. Act 1, Scene 1. The set of Digitopolis glitters in the background, while upstage right near the road, a small, colorful wagon sits, looking quite deserted. On its side, in large letter, a sign reads, Cacophonious, a discord, doctor of dissonance. Okay, dissonance over here. Harsh, unpleasant combination of sounds. Okay. So enter Milo, Talk, and Humbug fearfully. They look at the wagon. So that is just setting the scene. That's what you would see if you were at the theater watching this. And just a review, Talk is the dog that's a clock as well. Okay. For the sake of filming, I'm not going to read who's talking unless I absolutely need to, or it makes more sense that way. But starting off, Talk is talking. There's no doubt about it. That's where the noise was coming from. Well, go on. Go on what? Go on and see who's making that noise in there. We just can't ignore a creature like that. Creature? What kind of creature? Do you think he's dangerous? Go on, Milo. Knock on the door. We'll be right behind you. Okay, maybe he can tell us how much further it is to Digitopolis. So Milo, he's going to tiptoe to the wagon and knock timidly, which means kind of like a shy. The moment he knocks, a terrible crash is heard inside the wagon, and Milo finds the others jump back in fright. At the same time, the door flies open, and from a dark interior inside, a hoarse voice inquires. So a hoarse is like that scratchy voice that maybe when you've lost your voice, it's kind of like... Now, my throat is a little bit sore from all the rain, so I'm not going to be able to do my voice, even though I would love to. But I'm going to try my best. Have you ever heard a whole set of dishes dropped from the ceiling onto a hard stone floor? The others are speechless with fright. Milo shakes his head, voice heavily. Have you ever heard an ant wearing fur slippers walk across thick wool carpet? Milo shakes his head again. Have you ever heard a blindfolded octopus unwrap a cellophane-covered bathtub? Milo shakes his head for the third time. Ha! I knew it. He hops out. A little man wearing a white coat with a stethoscope around his neck and a small mirror attached to his forehead, and with very huge ears and a mortar and pestle in his hands. He stares at Milo, Talk, and Humbug. The mortar and pestle is like if you were like sometimes if you make guacamole, it's like this bowl that's made of stone usually, and the like almost like a rock, and you just smash things up into it. Okay. None of you looks that well at all. Just, not at all. He opens the top or side of his wagon, revealing a dusty interior resembling an old apothecary shop with shelves lined with jars and boxes, a table, books, test tubes, and bottles and measuring spoons. And an apothecary shop would be like a pharmacy from maybe 100 years ago. Are you a doctor? I'm Cacophonous, a discord, doctor of dissonance. Several small explosions and grindings crash are heard. Stuttering with fear, what does A stand for? As loud as possible. 2 screeches and a bump are heard. Now, step up closer and stick out your tongues. I'm supposed to be scratchy. I can't do it. Discord examines them, just as I expected. He opens a large, dusty book and thumbs through the pages. You're all suffering from a severe lack of noise. Discord begins running along, collecting bottles, reading the labels to himself as he goes along. Loud cries, soft cries, bangs, bongs, swishes, swishes, snaps, and crackles, and whistles and gongs, squeaks, squawks, and miscellaneous uproar. As he reads them off, he pours a little of each into a large glass beaker and stirs the mixture with a wooden spoon. The concoction smokes and bubbles. Be ready in just a moment. So Milo's very suspicious. He's like, just what kind of doctor are you? He's not so suspicious, not trusting, very careful, very cautious. Well, you might say I'm a specialist. I specialize in noises, from the loudest to the softest, from the slightest, slightly annoying to the terribly unpleasant. For instance, have you ever heard a square-wheeled steamroller ride over a street full of hard-boiled eggs? Very loud crunching sounds are heard. Milo holds his ears. But who would want all those terrible noises? He is surprised at this question. Everybody does. Why, I'm so busy, I can hardly fill the orders for noise pills, racket lotion, clamor salve, and hubbub tonic. That's all people seem to want these days. Years ago, everyone wanted pleasant sounds and business was terrible. But then the cities were built, and there was a great need for honking horns, screeching trains, clanging bells, and the rest of those wonderfully unpleasant sounds we use so much today. I've been working overtime and my medicine here is in great demand. All you have to do is take 1 spoonful every day, and you'll never have to hear another beautiful sound again. Here, try some. Humbug backs away. If it's all the same to you, I'd rather not. I don't want to be cured of beautiful sounds. Besides, there's no such sickness as lack of noise. How true. That's what makes it difficult to cure. Takes a large glass from the shelf. Very well. Well, if you want to go through all life suffering from noise deficiency, which means shortage or lack of, I'll give you this to dine for his lunch. He uncorks the bottle and pours liquid into it. There is a rumbling and then a loud explosion accompanied by smoke, out which Dine, a smog-like creature with yellow eyes and frowning mouth, appears. Dine is smacking his lips. Ah, that was good, master. I thought you never let me out. It was really cramped in there. This is my assistant, the awful Dine. You must forgive his appearance. Or, really, he doesn't have any. What is a Dine? You mean you've never heard of the awful Dine? When you're playing in your room and making a great amount of noise, what do they tell you to do to stop? That awful din? I don't get this so far. When you're playing in your room and making a great amount of noise, what do they tell you to stop? That's an awful din. I still don't get that. An awful din. I don't know what that means. So we were going to have to figure out what that is. Okay. When the neighbors are playing with their radios too loud at night, what do you wish they'd turn down? That awful din or din, I guess. And when the streets on your block are being repaired and drills are working all day, what does everyone complain of? Brightly, the dreadful row? The dreadful row was my grandfather. He perished in the Great Silence epidemic of 1712. I certainly can't understand why you don't like noise. Why, I had heard an explosion last week that was so lovely I groaned with appreciation for 2 days. And he gives a loud groan at his memory. All right, I'm going to read a little bit more, and then I'm going to stop and figure out that awful what den means here. All right. He's right, Noise is the most valuable thing in the world. King Azaz says words are. Nonsense! Why, when a baby wants food, how does he ask? So Dine says happily, he screams. And when a racing car wants gas, it chokes. And what happens to the dawn when a new day begins? It breaks. You see how simple it is? To Dine, he's talking to Dine. Isn't it time for us to go? Where to? Maybe we're going the same way. I doubt it. Picking up empty sacks from the table. We're going on a collection rounds. Once a day, I travel through the kingdom and collect all the wonderfully horrible and beautifully unpleasant sounds I can find and bring them back to the doctor to use in his medicine. Where are you going? To Digitopolis. I'm going to stop this recording, come back, and let you know what I found out. Oh, hold on. I don't want to cancel. The business, are you going to show you it? No.